What if I told you that in the next few minutes, you're gonna dive into a story so wild, so heart-pounding, that it'll make you forget everything else you plan to watch today? Picture this, a guy who's got it all, charm, looks, and a reputation as the ultimate womanizer, thinks he's untouchable. He's living the high life, breaking hearts left and right, until one day, he meets her. She's not just any girl. She's the pure-hearted daughter of his father's old friend, and something about her flips his world upside down. Why can't he stop thinking about her? What is it about this one girl that turns his entire life into a whirlwind of obsession? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're gonna get the answers you came for, and trust me, you won't see the twist coming. This is the story of Womanizer becomes obsessed after meeting his father's friend's pure-hearted daughter, and I'm here to take you on a ride that's gonna mess with your head and tug at your heart. So, grab your snacks, get comfy, and let's unpack this drama together, because you and we're in this till the end. Now, let's set the scene. Imagine a bustling city, somewhere like New York or Miami, where the lights never dim, and the energy is electric. Our guy, let's call him Jake, is the kind of man who walks into a room and owns it. He's got that smirk, that confidence, the kind of vibe that makes people, especially women, stop and stare. Jake's life is a revolving door of parties, flings, and late-night adventures. He's mastered the art of love 'em and leave 'em, and he wears that badge like a crown. To him, relationships are a game, and he's never lost. But here's the thing about games. Sometimes, the rules change when you least expect it. You ever met someone who made you question everything you thought you knew about yourself? That's what's about to happen to Jake, and I'm betting you felt that spark of curiosity before. Maybe even right now, wondering how this cocky guy's about to get his world rocked. I'm talking to you, the person who's ever chased something, or someone, that felt just out of reach. You know that feeling in your gut, that mix of excitement and fear? That's what Jake's about to face, and I'm gonna walk you through every step of it, because this story? It's not just about him. It's about all of us who've ever been caught off guard by something real. Let's talk about why you're here. You clicked on this video because you're drawn to stories about love, betrayal, and transformation. Maybe you're wondering if a guy like Jake can actually change. Maybe you're curious about this mysterious girl who's got him so twisted up. Or maybe you just love a good drama that keeps you guessing. Whatever brought you here, I'm making you a promise. This video is gonna deliver. You're not just watching a story, you're stepping into Jake's world, feeling his highs and lows, and asking yourself the same questions he's wrestling with. What makes someone like her so different? Why does she have this power over him? And here's the kicker. I'm not gonna spoon-feed you every detail right away. I'm gonna keep you hooked, dropping just enough clues to make you lean in closer, because you and I both know the best stories are the ones that make you need to know what happens next. So let's build that connection. You and me, we're on this journey together. I'm your guide, and I'm not letting you go until we unravel every layer of this mystery. You with me? Good. Because we're just getting started. Now, let's introduce the girl who's about to change everything. Her name's Lily, and she's not like anyone Jake's ever met. She's not chasing clout or trying to keep up with the city's fast pace. Lily's got this quiet strength, this genuine warmth that makes people feel seen. She's the kind of person who'd rather spend her Saturday volunteering at a local shelter than posing for Instagram. Her dad, a longtime friend of Jake's father, is a grounded, hard-working guy who raised Lily to value kindness over flash. When Jake's dad invites him to a low-key family dinner to catch up with his old buddy, Jake expects nothing more than a boring night of small talk. But the moment he locks eyes with Lily, something shifts. It's not just that she's beautiful, though she is, in that effortless, no-filter-needed way. It's the way she carries herself, the way she listens when others speak, the way she seems completely unbothered by Jake's usual charm offensive. For the first time in forever, Jake's smooth lines fall flat, and he's left scrambling to figure out why this girl's got him so off his game. Have you ever met someone who made you feel like you were starting from scratch? That's Lily's effect on Jake, and it's the spark that lights the fuse of this whole story. Here's where things get juicy. Jake's not used to being the one who's chasing. He's the guy who gets chased, the one who calls the shots. But with Lily, it's different. She's not playing hard to get. She's just real, and that realness is like kryptonite to Jake's carefully crafted persona. He starts finding excuses to see her, showing up at places he knows she'll be, trying to crack her code. But the more he tries, the more he realizes Lily's not just another conquest. She's got this way of seeing right through him, calling out his bluff without ever raising her voice. And that's where the obsession kicks in. Jake's used to getting what he wants, but Lily's not something he can just have. She's a puzzle, a challenge, and every interaction leaves him wanting more. You ever felt that pull towards someone or something you couldn't quite figure out? That's what's driving Jake, and it's what's gonna keep you watching, because the question isn't just why he's obsessed, it's what he's willing to do about it. Will he change who he is to win her over? Or will his old habits drag him down? Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what this story's really about. It's not just a juicy drama about a guy and a girl. It's about what happens when someone who's spent their life running from anything real comes face to face with something they can't ignore. It's about the clash between who you've always been and who you might become. Jake's story is gonna make you think about your own life. Those moments when you've had to decide whether to keep playing it safe or take a risk on something bigger. And Lily? She's not just the good girl stereotype. She's got her own struggles, her own dreams, and a strength that's gonna surprise you. This isn't a simple love story. It's a battle of hearts, minds, and choices. You're gonna see Jake wrestle with his ego, his past, and the kind of future he never thought he'd want. And you're gonna see Lily stand her ground, forcing Jake to confront parts of himself he's been dodging for years. You're here for the drama, but you're gonna stay for the truth this story uncovers. I'm talking to you, the person who's ever wondered if people can really change, or if some habits are too deep to break. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, this sounds good, but where's it going? That's the beauty of this story. It's got layers, and I'm not gonna peel them all back right here. I want you to feel that itch, that need to keep watching because the answers are coming, and they're gonna hit harder than you expect. Picture Jake, standing outside Lily's favorite coffee shop, rehearsing what he's gonna say to her, his heart pounding like he's a teenager with a crush. Picture Lily, catching his eye across the room, her expression unreadable. Is she intrigued? Annoyed? Something else entirely? And then, there's the bombshell waiting just around the corner. Something from Jake's past that's about to crash into his present and threaten everything he's starting to feel for Lily. What is it? Who's gonna get hurt? And how far will Jake go to hold on to this obsession that's rewriting his entire world? You're not just watching a video, you're living this story with me, and I'm not letting you off the hook until we get to the bottom of it. So, what's it gonna be? You sticking around to find out what happens when a womanizer meets the one person he can't charm? I thought so. Let's dive in, alright, you're still here, and I love that you're riding this wave with me. We left Jake standing outside that coffee shop, his palms sweaty, his usual swagger nowhere to be found, all because of Lily, the girl who's got him questioning everything. But before we dive into what happens next, let's pull back the curtain a bit and get to know these two a little better, because this story's about to get messy, and I'm betting you're as curious as I am about what's driving them. Jake's not just some playboy with a one-track mind. There's a reason he's built this armor around himself, and it's got everything to do with his past. Meanwhile, Lily's not the perfect angel she might seem. She's got her own secrets, her own battles, and a life that's way more complicated than Jake realizes. And then there's the shadow looming over both of them, something, or someone, from Jake's old life that's about to stir up trouble. You're here for the drama, the romance, the twists, and I'm gonna give you all of that, but I'm also gonna keep you guessing. You and we're peeling back the layers together, and every step's gonna pull you deeper into this tangled web of love, obsession, and hidden truths. So let's keep going, because what's coming next is gonna make your jaw drop. Let's start with Jake's world before Lily crashed into it. Growing up, Jake was the golden boy, star athlete, prom king, the guy everyone wanted to be or be with. But behind the flashy smile and the easy charm, things weren't as picture-perfect as they seemed. His parents' marriage was a train wreck, with his dad bouncing between affairs and his mom drowning her pain in wine and denial. Jake learned early on that love was a battlefield, and the only way to survive was to keep everyone at arm's length. By the time he hit his 20s, he'd turned that lesson into a lifestyle. He moved to the city, landed a slick job in marketing, and built a reputation as the guy who could talk his way into, or out of, anything. Women were drawn to his confidence, his wit, the way he made them feel like the center of the universe for a night or two. But the second things got too real, Jake was out the door, leaving a trail of broken hearts and no apologies. You ever known someone like that? Someone who seems untouchable but deep down, they're running from something? That's Jake, and for years, he's been winning at his own game, until Lily. Now he's standing outside that coffee shop, replaying their last conversation, wondering why her laugh is stuck in his head like a song he can't shake. And here's where it gets interesting. Jake's not just fighting his feelings for Lily. He's fighting himself, because letting her in means dismantling everything he's built to keep himself safe. Now, let's talk about Lily, because she's no damsel waiting for Jake to sweep her off her feet. Lily grew up in a small town just outside the city, raised by her dad after her mom passed away when she was a kid. Her dad's a mechanic, the kind of guy who works with his hands and lives by a code of honesty and hard work. He taught Lily to value people over things, to listen more than she speaks, and to never let anyone dim her light. But life hasn't been easy for her. Lily's been saving up to go to college, working double shifts at a local bookstore and volunteering at a community center to help kids who remind her of herself. Kids who've had to grow up too fast. She's got dreams of becoming a social worker, of making a difference, but there's a weight she carries, something she doesn't talk about, not even to her closest friends. Maybe it's the grief of losing her mom, or maybe it's something else. Something tied to a locket she always wears, a keepsake she touches when she thinks no one's watching. You ever had a secret that shaped who you are, even if you never said it out loud? That's Lily's vibe, and it's part of what makes her so magnetic to Jake. She's not trying to impress him, she's just being herself, and that authenticity is like a mirror, forcing Jake to see the cracks in his own facade. But here's the question. What's Lily hiding, and how's it gonna change things when it comes to light? As Jake starts circling closer to Lily, showing up at the bookstore where she works or casually, bumping into her at the community center, a subplot starts to bubble up, and it's got his best friend Marcus written all over it. Marcus is the Ian to Jake's young, loyal, grounded, and the only person who's stuck by Jake through all his chaos. Marcus has seen Jake's pattern with women 100 times, and he's starting to worry. He pulls Jake aside one night at their favorite bar, neon lights buzzing overhead, and lays it out. Man, you're playing with fire. This girl's not like the others. You're gonna hurt her, or worse, you're gonna hurt yourself. Jake laughs it off, but Marcus's words stick, planting a seed of doubt. What Marcus doesn't tell Jake is that he's got his own connection to Lily's world. Turns out, Marcus volunteers at the same community center, and he's seen how Lily lights up a room, how she connects with people in a way Jake never could. Is Marcus just looking out for his friend? Or is there something more? Maybe a spark of his own feelings for Lily, or a loyalty to her dad, who's been like a mentor to him. You're probably wondering where this is going, and I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but let's just say Marcus's perspective adds a whole new layer of tension. You ever had a friend who saw something you couldn't? That's what's brewing here, and it's gonna make things messy. Then there's the mystery from Jake's past, the one I hinted at before, and it's starting to creep closer. Jake's been getting cryptic texts from an unknown number. Short, vague messages like, "You can't run forever," or "She deserves better." At first, he brushes them off as a prank, but they're starting to get under his skin. Who's sending them? An ex who's still bitter? Someone who knows more about Jake's history than he's let on? Or, here's where it gets wild. Could it be tied to Lily somehow? Jake's not the type to dig into his own baggage, but these messages are forcing him to think about things he's buried deep, like the real reason he's so afraid of letting anyone get close. You ever had a moment where your past came knocking, and you weren't ready to answer? That's where Jake's at, and it's making his obsession with Lily even more intense, because she feels like the one thing that could anchor him, or break him completely. I'm talking to you, the person who's ever felt like their life was one choice away from spinning out of control. You're gonna relate to Jake's struggle, and you're gonna want to know who's behind those texts and what they want. While all this is simmering, Lily's starting to notice Jake's efforts, and she's not sure what to make of them. She's not naive, she's heard the rumors about Jake's reputation, and she's not about to be another name on his list. But there's something about him that keeps catching her off guard. Maybe it's the way he stumbles over his words when he's around her, so different from the smooth talker everyone else sees. Or maybe it's the flicker of vulnerability in his eyes, like he's searching for something he's never found. One afternoon, while they're both at the community center, Jake helps her clean up after a kid's art class, and they end up talking, really talking, for the first time. It's not flirty or forced, it's just two people sharing a moment, laughing over spilled paint and swapped stories. For a second, Jake's not the womanizer, and Lily's not the untouchable saint. They're just Jake and Lily, and it feels like the start of something. But just as Lily starts to let her guard down, she gets a call that makes her face go pale. She excuses herself, leaving Jake standing there, paintbrush in hand, wondering what just happened. What was that call about? Is it tied to her locket, her past, or something else entirely? You're probably itching to know, and I'm right there with you, but I'm not giving it away yet. This is the kind of moment that makes you lean forward, because you know the stakes just got higher. So here we are, with Jake chasing a feeling he doesn't understand, Lily wrestling with her own guarded heart, and Marcus caught in the middle, watching it all unfold. The cryptic texts are piling up, each one more unsettling than the last, and Lily's mysterious phone call has left Jake, and you, with more questions than answers. The city around them keeps humming, all bright lights and restless energy, but for Jake and Lily, it's like the world's narrowing to just the two of them, and the secrets threatening to pull them apart. You're invested now, aren't you? You're wondering if Jake's gonna crash and burn or if he's got a shot at something real. You're curious about Lily's story, about what she's hiding and how it's gonna collide with Jake's chaos. And you're dying to know who's behind those texts and what they've got planned. I'm not letting you off the hook, because this story's just heating up, and the next twist is gonna shake everything we thought we knew. Picture this, Jake, standing at Lily's doorstep, ready to lay it all on the line, when he hears a voice from inside. A voice he recognizes, one that stops him dead in his tracks. Who is it? And what does it mean for everything he's been chasing? Stick with me because we're about to find out, and it's gonna be a wild ride, the chaos. Because right now, Jake's about to make a move that could change everything, or burn it all down. You're still with me, and I'm pumped because things are about to get intense. We left Jake frozen at Lily's doorstep, heart pounding, ready to pour his soul out, when a voice from inside her apartment stops him cold. A voice he knows, one that drags him back to a part of his life he thought he'd left behind. The air's thick with tension, and you're probably wondering, just like I am, who's in there and what it means for Jake's obsession with Lily. This is where the story takes a sharp turn, cranking up the stakes and throwing in a twist that's gonna leave your head spinning. We're diving deeper into the chaos of Jake's unraveling world, Lily's guarded heart, and the secrets that are starting to claw their way to the surface. Marcus is still in the mix, stirring up his own complications, and those cryptic texts? They're about to take on a whole new meaning. You and we're in this together, peeling back the layers of this drama, and I'm not letting you look away. Not when we're this close to the edge. So let's jump back in, because the main conflict's about to explode, and the surprise waiting around the corner is gonna change everything. Jake standing there, his hand hovering over Lily's doorbell, when that voice cuts through the quiet like a knife. It's low, familiar, and laced with an edge that makes his stomach twist. He leans closer to the door, straining to listen, and realizes it's Vanessa. His ex, the one who burned him so bad he swore off anything real years ago. Vanessa was Jake's first real love, back when he was still naive enough to believe in forever. Their breakup was a disaster. Accusations, betrayal, and a wound that never quite healed. Jake hasn't seen her in years. So what's she doing in Lily's apartment? His mind races, piecing together fragments of the past. Did Vanessa know Lily's dad? Is she connected to Lily somehow? Or is this some twisted coincidence? Before he can knock, the door swings open, and there's Lily, her face a mix of surprise and something else. Guilt, maybe? Vanessa's behind her, arms crossed, her eyes locking onto Jake with a smirk that says she's been expecting him. The air crackles with unspoken history, and you can feel the weight of it pressing down on all three of them. You ever had a moment where your past and present collide, and you're stuck wondering how you didn't see it coming? That's Jake right now, and this unexpected reunion is about to light a fuse that could blow everything apart. Let's back up a bit to unpack how we got here, because this twist didn't come out of nowhere. Those cryptic texts Jake's been getting, the one saying, "You can't run forever," and "she deserves better," they've been eating at him, making him paranoid. He's been so focused on Lily that he hasn't stopped to think about who might be behind them. Now, with Vanessa standing in front of him, it's starting to click. Vanessa always had a knack for getting under his skin, for knowing exactly how to twist the knife. But why now? And how does she know Lily? Jake's mind flashes back to their breakup, to the night Vanessa accused him of cheating. Something he didn't do, but she never believed him. She walked away, leaving him with a bruised ego and a vow to never let anyone that close again. Seeing her now in Lily's space feels like a punch to the gut. Is Vanessa the one sending those texts, trying to sabotage whatever's brewing between him and Lily? Or is there something bigger at play, something tied to that mysterious phone call Lily got at the community center? You're probably as thrown as Jake is, and I'm right there with you, because this twist raises more questions than it answers. The stakes are higher now. Jake's not just chasing Lily. He's facing a ghost from his past, and it's threatening to derail everything. Meanwhile, Lily's caught in the middle, and her reaction only deepens the mystery. She's not just surprised to see Jake at her door. She's nervous, her fingers brushing that locket she always wears, like it's a lifeline. She tries to play it cool, inviting Jake in, but the tension between her and Vanessa is palpable. It's clear they know each other, but how? Are they friends? Family? Or is Vanessa someone Lily's trying to keep at a distance? As Jake steps inside, he notices little things: a photo on the wall of Lily and her dad, a stack of old letters on the coffee table, and Vanessa's coat slung over a chair like she's been here before. Lily's quick to steer the conversation, asking Jake why he's there, but her eyes keep darting to Vanessa, who's watching them both with a calculating stare. You ever been in a room where everyone's hiding something, and you're just waiting for the truth to spill out? That's the vibe here, and it's got Jake second-guessing everything. He came to tell Lily how he feels, to be honest for once in his life, but now he's wondering if he's walked into a trap. And you're wondering too, aren't you? What's Vanessa's angle, and what does Lily know that she's not saying? Let's not forget Marcus, because his subplot is about to throw another wrench into this mess. While Jake's tangled up with Lily and Vanessa, Marcus is at the community center, helping with a fundraiser Lily organized. He's been spending more time there, partly because he believes in the cause, but also because he's drawn to Lily's world. He's seen how she pours her heart into helping others, and it's stirring something in him. Maybe admiration, maybe something deeper. But Marcus is loyal to Jake, and that loyalty's being tested. When he overhears a conversation between two volunteers about Lily's dad and some old friend who's back in town, his ears perk up. The details are vague, but it's enough to make Marcus suspicious. Could this old friend be Vanessa? Or is it someone else entirely, someone tied to the locket or Lily's past? Marcus decides to dig a little, asking Lily's dad casual questions over coffee, but the older man's answers are guarded, like he's protecting something, or someone. Marcus doesn't tell Jake yet, but he's starting to piece things together, and his protective streak is kicking in. You ever had a friend who knew more than they let on, and you wished they'd just spill it? That's Marcus, and his quiet investigation is adding another layer of suspense, because whatever he's uncovering, it's gonna hit Jake like a freight train. As the tension builds, Jake's obsession with Lily takes a darker turn. He's not just chasing her anymore. He's desperate to understand what's going on, to reclaim control in a situation that's slipping through his fingers. Back at Lily's apartment, he tries to steer the conversation, asking Vanessa point-blank why she's here. Her response is cryptic. Maybe I'm just looking out for someone who doesn't know who you really are. It's a jab that lands hard, and Jake feels the old anger bubbling up, the same anger that fueled his womanizer ways after Vanessa broke his heart. But Lily cuts in, her voice calm but firm, saying they're just catching up, that Vanessa's an old friend of the family. It's a lie, or at least a half-truth, and Jake can tell. He's about to push harder when his phone buzzes with another text. You're in over your head. This time, it's not just a taunt, it's a warning, and it's enough to make Jake wonder if he's misjudged everything. Is Vanessa the mastermind, or is she just a pawn in a bigger game? And what about Lily? Does she know more than she's letting on, or is she as lost as he is? You're feeling that itch now, aren't you? That need to know who's pulling the strings and what they want. I'm right there with you, because this story's not slowing down. The twist with Vanessa and the escalating mystery around the texts are pushing Jake toward a breaking point, but it's Lily's next move that really sets the stage for the climax. As Jake leaves her apartment, rattled and unsure, Lily follows him outside, away from Vanessa's prying eyes. For a moment, it's just the two of them, the city buzzing around them, and Lily looks at him. Really looks at him, like she's trying to decide if he's worth the risk. You don't know me, Jake, she says, her voice soft but heavy. And I don't know if I can trust you. It's not a rejection, but it's not an invitation either. It's a challenge, one that hits Jake harder than any of Vanessa's barbs. He wants to argue to tell her she's wrong, but before he can, Lily's phone rings again, and this time, she answers it right there. Jake catches only fragments of her side of the conversation. Something about, he's here, and, I don't know what to do. She hangs up, her face pale, and tells Jake she has to go. But as she turns away, something falls from her pocket, a small folded note, and when Jake picks it up, he sees a single word scrawled in hasty ink, run. Who's telling Lily to run? From what? Or who? And why is Jake suddenly certain that whatever's coming, it's gonna tear them both apart? You're hooked now, I can feel it, and I'm not letting you go. Picture this. Jake, alone in the dark, unfolding that note, as a figure watches from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. What's next? Stick with me because we're barreling toward a showdown you won't believe. Alright, you've stuck with me through all the twists and turns, and I'm so stoked you're here because we're about to hit the climax of this wild ride and tie up the story of Jake, Lily, and the secrets that have been tearing their world apart. We left Jake standing in the dark, clutching that cryptic note with the word "run" scrawled across it, his heart racing as he senses someone watching from the shadows. The city's pulse is pounding in his ears, and every question we've been wrestling with. Vanessa's sudden reappearance, the mysterious texts, Lily's guarded heart, and Marcus's quiet suspicions, is about to collide in a moment that'll leave you speechless. This is it, the big payoff you've been waiting for, where the main conflicts explode into a resolution that's equal parts heartbreaking and hopeful, with a final twist that'll have you rethinking everything. You and we're in this till the last second, unpacking the drama, the love, and the truth that's been hiding in plain sight. So let's dive into the chaos, because Jake's about to face the fight of his life, and the answers we've been chasing are finally within reach. Jake's gripping that note, his mind a whirlwind as he tries to make sense of it. Who's telling Lily to run? Is it from Vanessa, the ex who's back to haunt him? Or is it tied to those texts that have been taunting him for weeks? Before he can think, his phone buzzes again. A new message, this time with a photo attached. It's grainy, but unmistakable. A younger Jake, laughing with Vanessa, and next to them, a woman who looks eerily like Lily's mom, the one Lily lost years ago. The text reads, "Ask her about her mother." Jake's breath catches, because this changes everything. He's been so caught up in his obsession with Lily, in dodging his own past, that he never stopped to consider the connections staring him in the face. He races back toward Lily's apartment, determined to confront her, but as he rounds the corner, he sees her slipping into a cab, her face pale and her bag clutched tight. She's running, just like the note said, and Jake's gut tells him that if he doesn't catch her now, he'll lose her for good. You ever had a moment where you knew you had one shot to make things right? That's Jake, sprinting through the city, chasing the girl who's become his everything, even as the truth threatens to shatter it all. Meanwhile, Marcus is piecing together his own part of the puzzle, and his subplot is about to crash into the main story. After his talk with Lily's dad at the community center, Marcus dug deeper, calling in a favor from an old friend who works in public records. What he found was a bombshell. Lily's mom, who died when Lily was young, was once married to a man named Daniel, a man who later became Vanessa's stepfather. The connection is murky, but it's enough to make Marcus realize that Vanessa's presence in Lily's life isn't random. He tries calling Jake, but Jake's phone is blowing up with those texts, and he's too focused on finding Lily to answer. Marcus heads to Lily's apartment, hoping to warn her, but when he gets there, he finds Vanessa waiting, her expression cold and calculated. "You're too late," she says, and Marcus feels a chill, because he knows Vanessa's not just here to stir up drama. She's got an agenda, and it's tied to a grudge that's been festering for years. Marcus presses her, demanding answers, and Vanessa finally spills a piece of the truth. She blames Jake for ruining her life, for driving a wedge between her and her stepfather, who left her family after Jake's accusations during their breakup. But there's more. Vanessa knows something about Lily's mom, something she's been holding over Lily to keep her in line. You're feeling the weight of this, aren't you? The way every thread is weaving together, pulling us toward a showdown that's been years in the making. The climax hits when Jake tracks Lily to a quiet park on the edge of the city, a place she mentioned once as her sanctuary, where she goes to think. It's late, the air cool and heavy with the threat of rain, and Lily's sitting on a bench, staring at that locket she always wears. Jake approaches, his voice soft but urgent, and shows her the photo from the text. "Lily, who's this? Why is my ex in a picture with your mom?" Lily's eyes widen, and for the first time, she looks truly afraid, not of Jake, but of what he's uncovered. She takes a shaky breath and starts talking, her words spilling out like a dam breaking. Her mom wasn't just a victim of illness, like Lily always believed. She was caught in a toxic marriage with Daniel, a man who manipulated and controlled her until she broke. The locket Lily wears holds a photo of her mom from before it all went wrong, a reminder of the woman she wants to honor. But Vanessa, Daniel's stepdaughter, has been using that history to manipulate Lily, threatening to expose painful details about her mom's past unless Lily keeps her distance from Jake. The mysterious phone calls, the note telling her to run, it was all Vanessa, orchestrating a plan to punish Jake by breaking the one connection that could redeem him. You ever seen someone face their worst fear head-on? That's Lily, laying her soul bare, and Jake, listening, realizing that his own pain pales in comparison to what she's carried. The main conflict, Jake's obsession and the battle between his past and his future, comes to a head as he and Lily confront the truth together. Jake admits his own mistakes, how he let Vanessa's betrayal turn him into someone who hurt others to protect himself. He tells Lily that she's the first person who's made him want to be better, to break the cycle he's been trapped in. Lily, tears in her eyes, admits she's been scared to trust him, scared to let anyone in after seeing what love did to her mom. But in this moment, under the flickering park lights, they choose each other, not as a fairy tale romance, but as two flawed people willing to try. They agree to face Vanessa together, to end her hold over them. Jake texts Marcus, looping him in, and the three of them meet at Lily's apartment, where Vanessa's still waiting, thinking she's won. The confrontation is electric. Vanessa's venom meets Jake's resolve, Lily's quiet strength, and Marcus's unwavering loyalty. Lily takes the lead, telling Vanessa she's done being manipulated, that her mom's memory isn't a weapon. Jake steps up, apologizing for his part in their past but refusing to let it define him anymore. Vanessa, cornered and exposed, lashes out, but her power's gone. She leaves, defeated, and the weight of her threats lifts. You're cheering for them, right? Because this is the moment where love, forgiveness, and courage win out. But we're not done yet. Here's the final twist, the one that'll leave you reeling. As Jake, Lily, and Marcus decompress, Lily opens her locket to show them the photo of her mom. Inside, tucked behind the picture, is a tiny folded piece of paper. A letter from her mom, written before she died. It's short but devastating. Lily, don't let my mistakes keep you from loving. You're stronger than I was. But there's a name at the bottom, a name Lily never knew. Daniel's brother, who was her mom's first love, the one she lost before everything went wrong. And that name? It's Jake's dad. The photo from the text, the one with Jake, Vanessa, and Lily's mom, it wasn't just a coincidence. Jake's dad and Lily's mom were connected, a love story cut short by circumstance, and now, years later, their kids are finding each other, closing a circle neither knew existed. Jake and Lily stare at each other, stunned, as the realization sinks in. Their connection isn't just chance, it's fate, woven through their parents' past. You didn't see that coming, did you? Neither did I, and it's the kind of twist that makes you want to rewatch this whole story to catch the clues. The resolution settles in as Jake and Lily process this revelation. They're not rushing into a happily ever after, but they're choosing to move forward, together, with honesty and hope. Marcus, ever the loyal friend, promises to keep their circle tight, and he's got his own arc wrapped up. He's inspired by Lily to take a bigger role at the community center, maybe even pursue his own dreams. The cryptic texts stop, Vanessa's influence fades, and the city feels a little less chaotic, like it's giving them room to breathe. But the story's takeaway isn't just about love conquering all. It's about facing your past, owning your mistakes, and finding the courage to build something new. Jake's not a womanizer anymore. He's a man learning to love for real. Lily's not running from her mom's shadow. She's stepping into her own light. And you, watching this, you're probably thinking about your own life, the choices you've made, the risks you've taken or avoided. That's what makes this story stick with you. It's not just Jake and Lily's journey. It's a mirror for all of us. So, as we close this chapter, picture them walking through the park, hand in hand, the city skyline glowing behind them, ready for whatever comes next. And you? You're walking away with a story that hit you in the heart, a twist that blew your mind, and a reminder that sometimes, the people who change us most are the ones we never saw coming.